out there, and welcome to CNET's live coverage of Apple's spring iPad event. Today, we're going to find out what Apple means by its teaser line, Let Loose. I am Bridget, Carey, coming to you from the New York area, and I am joined on this stream with fellow CNETer on the West Coast, the brilliant Lexy Savvides. Good early morning to you. Are you ready to let loose?
Good morning, Bridget. I am ready, whatever it's going to be today. Is it pencil? Is it Magic Keyboard? Is it, well, I think those are it, plus the iPad. So I'm ready. I'm excited. It's great to be with you this morning.
Yes, Lexy, if you're wondering out there about what's next with iPads and the pencil stylus, then you're in the right place, because Lexy and I are going to go over what the reports are, what the rumors are, what we're expecting. And when the Apple stream kicks off at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, this is going to turn into a little watch party. You're going to keep our stream going, and then you're going to open Apple's presentation in another tab, and we're going to be watching with you. We're going to give you our live reactions. And Lexy, why don't you tell the fine folks out there the interactive side of this show?
This is going to be fun because we're going to be featuring your questions and comments throughout. So drop all of those questions into the chat. We're also going to be running a few polls. But to start, we actually put up the first poll before the show even started. And so many of you have jumped in to put in your thoughts. So thank you for that. The question was, it was essentially not the one that you're seeing on screen, but it is the most wanted feature from the iPad event. So lots of different comments came in. There were a lot of thoughts about wanting the iPad to converge into more of the laptop, those rumors that we've been all sort of thinking about for ages. There's been more affordable pricing comments. We had one from Central, we need an even cheaper iPad. Then there was a folding iPad. So Louise said, I want my iPad mini to fold. Then we also heard more about the mini itself. The mini seems to be a very popular iPad that people want refreshed. iPad mini 7, Aditya wanted that. Ivy also wanted an iPad mini. So many different comments there, and even some other people wanting an Apple crayon. So that was exciting too. So keep those comments coming. We will feature them throughout the show. But I did want to introduce our man behind the scenes, our producer extraordinaire, Stephen Beecham.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So Apple does not give us permission to stream the event live, so please keep our show open in another tab to follow the play-by-play commentary from our experts, and you'll get our real-time reactions to Apple's event as it happens. So again, thanks for watching, and back to you, Bridget.
Thanks, Stephen. All right, so here's what we're expecting for Apple to highlight today. We're going to get 2 sizes of iPad Pros. We're thinking we're also going to see 2 sizes of iPad Airs. We're seeing a new pencil, folks. It's in the invite. I mean, you can't get any more clear than a new pencil with Tim Cook tweeting out, pencil is in today. But we're also probably going to see a new Magic Keyboard if the rumors are true. And Bloomberg has reporting that, there's that tweet right there. Pencil is in May 7th. Yeah, we get it. We get it, Tim. We're definitely going to see a pencil today. Bloomberg is also reporting that the iPad Pro might even have the new M4 chip in it, which we just had the M3 in October, but yes, if that's true, the iPad Pros would have a better chip than some of the newest Macs. Lexy, are you ready to live in that world?
I am and I'm not. This rumor is a really curious rumor, and normally Bloomberg Mark Gurman is spot on with this, so I'm expecting this is actually going to be true today. So as you said, we had the M3 in October. It means that if we get the M4 today, the iPad Pros would have a better chip than the Mac laptops for now. So the M4 is supposedly due to bring big upgrades to the neural engine, essentially powering AI, machine learning, teasing what's to come in WWDC, perhaps in terms of the AI features. Will we get any more hints on that today? It's kind of bizarre to announce the hardware before the software that's going to be, utilizing all of this, but we'll see. There's always going to be a surprise up their sleeve. I think we'll be seeing how many times Apple mentions AI, if at all, today. That will be definitely something that I'm checking off the list. But let's talk all things iPad Pro to start with, though, because this is the thing that we're expecting probably Apple will talk, hopefully first off. Keep the best things for first? I'm not sure, but we'll see. So most likely the iPads are going to be getting the OLED displays. So what we've seen on the iPhone finally making its way over to OLED. So expect richer colors, better HDR performance, deeper and true black levels. The sizes for the iPad Pros probably not going to be any different to what we have now, 11 and 12 inch screens. and hopefully slimmer, not only less thick overall, but hopefully slimmer bezels, because no one is going to complain about that. So that's iPad Pro, and hopefully we're going to get those and maybe a few more surprises, but we'll see. What about the iPad Airs, Bridget? That maybe those ones are going to be exciting too today.
Yeah, this could be the first time we see two sizes of iPad Airs. That existing 10.9-inch display may still be around, along with a larger 12.9-inch display, because everyone needs something bigger all the time. But it'd be similar to the sizes before that we see currently on sale with the Pro line. Bloomberg's saying that you should expect the M2 chip in these, not the M3. I'm very curious about that because, yes, as you mentioned, everyone's always talking about AI. The M3 chip, when it came out, was talked about how it's a very powerful chip for running AI. If they do show off an M4 in the pros and getting kind of ahead of themselves of next month's WWDC, it could save them some time. So that way they get the hardware out of the way now, spend all that time on software a month later, kind of like set the stage, because Wall Street just can't stop talking about it. I don't really care about Wall Street. I care about Main Street. I just want to make sure that these laptops don't get that much more expensive. But also, I think accessories are obviously going to be a big part of this. You can tell by that teaser image, yes, we're going to have a new pencil. The rumor is that this pencil could have haptic feedback, and erasing is going to be a big part of this, because on Apple's website, you could take your mouse like you see here and just, erase the whole event logo with your mouse cursor. Folks are saying that maybe this haptic feedback comes through in a way that you could squeeze the pencil to change modes. Maybe that haptic feedback lets you know in your brain that, yes, it's changed modes. Could it be more than just a little buzz or a tap click feeling, but could you actually maybe feel something different when you erase versus when you paint versus when you draw with a pen? Could you feel the art differently as the brush strokes against the screen? I don't know. This is all stuff we're going to have to see. But then there's also talk of having a new keyboard as well. So if there's going to be some massive boost to the iPad Pro and you're going to have this improved keyboard, this magic keyboard, yeah, we are definitely going to keep talking about like, oh, the iPad is going to replace the laptop. I think that's going to be a big conversation today.
Yeah, I think it definitely will. I mean, this has always been the conversation, I feel like, from day dot since the iPad came out. Is it going to replace the Mac? How, Mac OS and iPad OS is going to converge? Can we finally get Mac OS on the iPad? I mean, I know a lot of people really want that. And there's just been so much. I honestly feel like I've been talking about this in every single iPad since the dawn of time. I don't think it's going to be happening in the way that we might ideally want it. I definitely think that there is so much more room that Apple could do in kind of bringing those two platforms a little closer together. But you think about the limitations of iPad OS, it is quite a walled garden when you compare it to Mac OS, and trying to bring those two closer together, might not really work in the way that we initially think. There are also those huge UX challenges when it comes to bringing Mac OS to a touch interface. Like I don't think that that's going to work without an entirely huge overhaul. But the foundations are really there. If you think about what Apple has done over the past few years, there's things like Stage Manager, being able to kind of rearrange windows and so on. But I definitely really think that there is so much more room, especially if there is, say, a new Magic Keyboard today, to kind of have some different configuration options that kind of give it a little bit more of a laptop feel without necessarily needing to run Mac OS. And, if you think about what was announced earlier at CES this year, we had Lenovo. They did this 2-in-1 Windows laptop with detachable Android tablet. I think that's a really cool concept. I mean, yeah, I don't see Apple doing that anytime soon, running Mac OS and then detaching it, and all of a sudden it's an iPad running iPad OS. But I like to think about these things. The cost, though, really does start to add up when you think, okay, I'm going to add on my Magic Keyboard, I'm going to add on my Apple Pencil. And then we're starting to kind of get into I might as well just buy a Mac anyway, because it's getting too pricey. But, there's so many different things to think about there. What are your thoughts on this, Bridget? Because I feel like you've covered this space for such a long time. And are we going to get any more hints today? Or you think this is just sort of a pipe dream that all of us are just really hoping might happen in some way?
They're going to have to really make that case. Exactly. Like I'm still buying a laptop because of some of the programs I have to run that are not going to be on a Mac, but I am very open-minded to the idea of like, can my life be any easier if I just have that option of having an iPad on the go? I think the key though isn't going to be so much check out how this iPad can be a laptop replacement completely. I think we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the pencil stylus, because that's going to be how they make their case on like, why should we buy an iPad? There's such a struggle right now. Sure, Apple, in the scheme of all the tablets, Apple has the most popular tablet, but tablet is a sleepy town right now in terms of a category that people care about, because it's like, okay, I'm going to keep my tablet around for a long time. It's going to take a lot for me to want to switch and upgrade. I have an old iPad mini. It's doing wonders for me as a tool for my kids or on an airplane. You know, there's not a lot of motivation for me to go, okay, how can my life be better if I start to upgrade into some sort of extra iPad with this pencil? But what if the pencil, hear me out, the Let Loose isn't just a fun tagline, but it means the pencil could be lit loose in the sense of maybe it could work with other devices. I mean, it is maybe a little dream idea here, because I know sometimes they just want to focus on one product, but if they could make that pencil work with Vision Pro and really show that this pencil is a tool for creating in all sorts of ways, or just have the iPad be able to be a workstation when you're on the Vision Pro, because right now you can only use it with, like a laptop or a Mac. So it makes me wonder, what is Let Loose kind of hinting at? Are we going to start seeing an opening up of possibilities for why you would want an iPad? I mean, you have the Vision Pro, Lexy. Do you feel like you might actually want to start drawing in the air with a pencil with it?
I cannot wait for the looks and weird reactions from people. Like, it's odd enough having to do the tapping, and I mean, you don't hold your hand up here, but just doing that in kind of thin air. Even watching people DJ, that was one of the funny things that I really enjoyed from Scott Stein's initial coverage of the Vision Pro, was trying to DJ in that virtual space, and just you're just watching somebody from the outside just basically moving their hands on imaginary decks. Imagine what that's going to be like with a pencil in the hand. Maybe that makes a little bit more sense, because you have a physical object rather than just waving your hands around, almost aimlessly if you're looking at it from the outside. But in terms of, being in the headset itself and using, other input tools, I think it makes total sense. Why wouldn't you want to have as many other tools at your disposal? I mean, Vision Pro, using it, as a productivity tool for me with, keyboard kind of inputs, still has a little bit ways to go there, I think. And then I think a pencil just makes perfect sense to be able to kind of sketch and create in that immersive space. I don't quite know how it would work in terms of that, the feel and the interactivity. Yes, haptics absolutely has to play a huge part in that to kind of make it feel real. I don't know, drawing in the air, how else are you going to kind of get that same feel? But maybe we don't need the same feel. Maybe drawing in the air is going to be something that we're going to have to kind of reinvent in our heads, kind of a different way of creating art. It brings up so many different questions. Anyway, I'll stop talking too much about the Pencil and Vision Pro, because I have many more thoughts, but let's check into. Yes.
Oh yeah,
let's check into our poll. I want to check into the comments. So the poll that we asked was, what is the product that you most want to see today? And so we asked everybody out there watching, and iPad Pro with OLED was 58%. So that is the most wanted product today. iPad Air 23%, and then the Apple Pencil and poor old Magic Keyboard 5%. But I guess those go hand in hand, right? I mean, you're not going to probably just want a Magic Keyboard on its own. It's going to be alongside one of these, the new iPads. So it's really good to see everybody throwing in their votes. And we have one more poll that's up right now about the stylus and Apple Pencil. Well, Apple Pencil, but I like to call it a stylus still. So make sure you go vote on that one. We will check in on those results really shortly. And I will stop talking too much about the pencil, because I have many, many peculiar thoughts. But Bridget, I mean, apart from Vision Pro, I mean, are there any other kind of? I mean, there are so many different products that we feel like we could use a pencil on. iPhone. What about that?
Oh man, would they go into Galaxy territory there? No, I listen, I am excited, just like the poll results say, on the iPad Pro having OLED. I mean, it's about time, maybe the first iPad with OLED, right? have a lot of thoughts about the pencil too, because right now it's just messy. It's a messy system of like, okay, if you want a pencil, which iPad do you have? They kind of work differently depending on which one you get. There was a call out in the comments about wanting a crayon like the Logitech crayon. That's because it's cheaper. It was about $80, and that USB-C version of the pencil that came out, which lacks all the fun tricks, the bells and whistles. It just has a USB-C charger basically to it. But like, people are probably looking for some sort of pencil that brings it all together. Can you wirelessly charge and sync while it's magnetically attached? Do you need a bunch of different dongles, or can it finally just be like a simple USB-C kind of connection? And kind of do fun tricks. And so you can kind of eliminate some of the mess right now in the lineup and go, okay, this is going to work with whatever iPad I have, no matter what. And maybe there's one extra cheaper version like that Logitech crayon, which is like the USB-C version. I would say that exists right now, where, because they're about priced the same. If you have the student discount, they definitely are priced in that same range. And also you see competitors out there come at it at that lower $70, $80 range. So that's where that USB-C exists for. And I just want to see that the whole pencil lineup be cleared up, because it depending on what model you have, you just don't know which one to get. I'm personally wishing for the simple stuff sometimes. Is that camera going to be horizontally aligned? So when you have it set up like a laptop with the keyboard, is that camera right in the center for when you want to have video chats, or is it going to be off to the side again? So like things like that they can do to kind of just make things a little more laptop-like and a little cleaner. I'm looking forward to that as well. What are you looking forward to, Lexy?
The usability tweaks, absolutely. I know the camera is a big one. I really feel like they need to simplify the iPad lineup. As you said, not only is the pencil, there are so many iterations, so many different versions, but just the iPad lineup itself, is somewhat confusing. As somebody who just hasn't made the leap into, owning a tablet for themselves, i.e. me, at least an iPad, looking at all of the selections that I have, it is really, really confusing. I know I've had to buy iPads for family members in the past, and trying to advise them on, well, do you want to be able to use a stylus, and what type of Apple Pencil do you want? And, how do you want to be able to connect it? And then what sort of size screen do you want? What chip do you need? What sort of tasks are you going to be doing with it? It is not as sort of clear cut, I think, as, other products in the Apple lineup. So really sort of simplifying that for the consumer, and thinking about, people who are upgrading their iPads. It's not something, say, like the iPhone, that a lot of people do upgrade every year. Whatever you might think of that, people have iPhone upgrade plans and so on, or people just want to have like the latest and greatest. But iPads is not necessarily something that you're going to be upgrading, every 2 years or so. People hang on to these for a long time. Software support as well really helps extend the life. So I'm thinking that, today Apple really needs to kind of say, well, is this the better iPad than the one that you currently have? What other features are we going to be adding on top? Usability tweaks, as you said, the camera. Obviously, the OLED screens are going to be a huge draw card for people to upgrade. And maybe even, tapping into that artist realm. I was thinking, there's been a lot of talk about the screens on the iPads, not just from OLED perspective, but in terms of like the actual coating and glass itself. So, at the moment, highly reflective. What about if there was a different version of the iPad Pro that had a little bit more of a screen that kind of is alongside the thoughts of like the Studio XDR display, that is a little bit more matte. It's a little bit better. Say it has a little bit more of a surface that's better for kind of creating that paper-like feel potentially. So those are some interesting thoughts. I don't know if we're going to see that today at all, but I love the thought of thinking about the iPad Pro as a real kind of creative tool, and the screen technology is there. We've seen phones like the Galaxy S24 Ultra has that really great screen that doesn't have any reflections when you're using it in bright outdoor situations. It's really nice to write on with the S Pen. Maybe something like that on the iPad Pro would be kind of one of the things that I'd be hoping for today. I think it's highly unlikely, but a girl can dream. And it's 7 a.m., 10 a.m. Pacific. It's time for the Apple event to kick off. We're going to keep tabs on it and seeing if it's going to be starting the stream. We're going to be checking right now. Oh, yes, the other poll result. Let's get to that. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. Do you use an Apple Pencil? That was our poll question, or a stylus. I can't stop calling it a stylus.
That's
Yes,
what
no,
it
or depends
is.
on the new pencil. I mean, it is. It is. And the poll results, drum roll, please. Here we go. Yes, 51% of people do use an Apple Pencil or a stylus, and 38% no, and then 9% depending on the new pencil. Well, it looks like the Apple stream has started. So make
Hmm.
sure that you open another tab and switch over, and you keep us open in this tab. We'll be talking live through it. Isn't that right, Bridget?
Yeah, this is our watch party. Exactly. So we're kind of see Tim Cook is talking now. Let's see if we can. Looks like we're seeing
Yeah.
Vision Pro already.
Yeah, Vision Pro. So there's going to be a lot of this, us looking off to the side, watching it with you, with our comments live.
I'm talking
Walking
about
around a Porsche dealership.
Porsche. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like a little bit of starting out with bragging. Hey, those of you who thought Apple Vision Pro was not doing well, check out this. Oh, Dr. Tommy Korn. I was just talking with him over email the other day. He's like one of these people who are kind of experimenting. There's a lot of folks experimenting with like what they can do with Vision Pro, because we're still in that obviously stage of what are we going to do with this giant thing on our face? So it's going to take folks like filmmakers and others to be creative and kind of help paint that picture for Apple on where the future is. They like threw everything at it, and now it's like, okay, what are people going to do with it? And where are the apps? Okay,
Where are
and
the
he's going
apps,
back
though?
over the MacBook Air too, talking about the M3. It's so good. Everyone's loving it.
It's a little sales pitch to start the event. Hey, look at all of our other great products. And we're selling you more
It's
iPads now.
this, or it's about how great they are for the environment, right? It's always like a little bit of a warm up, an opening act.
Exactly.
Now turning our attention to the iPad.
Oh, here it is. iPad.
iPad plays a critical role. She's got that pencil tucked behind her ear.
So casual. I love it. Everybody looks so glamorous when they're using their iPad. I don't look glamorous at all when I'm using my tech. Yeah.
I'm like,
Exactly
I
right.
forgot my body posture. I'm like, oh my God, all hunched over.
Or in bed and it goes flat on your face.
That's me and my phone. Wake up with it hitting my face. And we're flying around the campus again. Well, where are we going?
Oh, we're on BART. That's Bay Area Rapid Transit for anyone playing at home.
Wow, not in the campus.
It's iPad Air.
We're hearing about how college students use it. Entrepreneurs.
They got a very clean BART train for this. That's all I'm going to say.
And everyone also happens to have all Apple products while they're on the train.
Of course.
Throw in a reference to their Palm Rail show.
Mm-hmm. A new iPad Air. And here it is. Oh, I kind of like that squished bubble graphic that they got going on for the wallpaper. That's kind of nice.
It's fluffy. Where are we going now?
That's a beautiful library. I feel like I should know where that is.
All right, it's 11 inch and 13 inches.
Yeah.
Instead of saying 12.9. Liquid retina. Half the users are picking a larger screen when they're shopping. They see everyone wants bigger. This is my first time I went to a larger iPhone. I can't go back now.
Oh, you
I'm
went to
part
the
of that
Max,
group.
the Pro Max. Mm-hmm. So you could just
Freeform.
think about using your Apple Pencil on your Pro Max.
I never use
Think about
Freeform. Do you use Freeform?
No, I don't.
Split view.
Ooh, the front-facing camera is now on the side. Yay, finally. It's about time.
Landscape mode. I had some awkward FaceTimes with my dad and the kids where he was like, "Hi, hi," because of the
Center
camera off
stage
to the
is like
side.
trying to keep up. What the?
Yeah.
Spatial audio in the speakers, that's kind of nice. Blue, purple, starlight, and space gray.
No pink. Just purple.
Purple. Oh, it kind of has a pink tint.
I think they used to have another color before. I think it's just one less color.
Yeah, you're right. It does
Like a
look much more
greeny blue.
muted. Mm-hmm.
Oh, M2 chip. Okay. That confirms what the rumor said. It ends up being kind of like what the iPad Pro was. So
That's
like it always
right.
gets, it's like the hand-me-downs.
4 hand-me-downs. Oh, AI. They're actually saying the words AI. Powerful device for AI.
They're getting ready for next month.
Yeah.
And also telling people to be quiet. All those people saying, "You're behind." I don't think Apple's behind. I just think they're quiet.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about the previous Magic Keyboard and the pencil now, not the new ones so far. Mm-hmm.
They're saving the best for last.
Mm-hmm.
It supports hover. Okay.
Up to 1 terabyte of storage. What I want to know what the base storage is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 128 or 256? That's what I want to know. Gonna check out that store.
Yeah, did they say price? Guess
No, not that I saw. Oh, 128. Here we go. Here it is. 128. Base. Oh, yes, they added 512.
Okay, so they increased the base.
And then $5.99 or $7.99 are the starting prices.
Yeah, I had the Air at 64. So I think they
Yeah,
increased the
they
base of that.
jumped it up. Mm-hmm.
You
Which
know, if
is
you're going to be a
good.
creator tool, let's do more storage. Oh, wait, secret bookshelf.
Mm-hmm.
Now every
Where is
kid's
this
going to be
going?
trying to find that.
Yeah.
Did you just wink at us?
Trying to create a new meme here. Seriously, like the Craig Federighi memes. All right, I see what's happening. iPad Pro time.
But it's not just for pros. You can buy it too, y'all.
We're gonna push them. We're gonna crush them.
Crush.
I like that. We're gonna crush them. It takes courage to crush them. They're crushing the trumpet.
Oh, I get this. There's it, like let's combine everything into an iPad. No, not the arcade. This is giving me the bad feels. Ooh.
I know. Oh, with all the destruction. Oh
I
no,
don't
with
even
the
know if it's
head.
real,
Oh, the
but-
head.
Oh, it's like that woman on TikTok who doesn't like this stuff. I'm with her. No. You just smashed an angry bird. Oh, no, this is too much glass breaking.
We crash. Oh no, the eyes are gonna pop out.
This isn't real, is it? Not the emoji.
Oh, they've pushed it into the okay. I was not expecting that from Apple. I was not expecting that visual.
It's not real. Could it be?
All those poor toys and heads.
Impossibly thin.
We've always envisaged iPad as a magical sheet of glass. Do. Interesting that they're not saying 10.9. It's all moved to 11-inch.
It's cleaner.
It is, and it's easier to understand. Interesting, there's two different thicknesses depending on the screen size. Even thinner than the Nano.
We're bringing up the Nano. The thinnest iPad Apple product ever. Yeah, like why are we calling anything an Air anymore if it's this thing?
That's a very good point.
We have lost the meaning of iPad Air.
Yeah. It should just be iPad cheap now. Cheaper.
iPad slightly older.
Oh, here it is. OLED to iPad. Two OLED panels.
Phenomenal.
Tandem.
Like a tandem bike, but a tandem. They really know how to make anything sound cool. It just puts you all this together. It's tandem.
Tandem. XDR precision.
Yes, I know what OLED is. My TV's had it. My iPhone's had it for a while. Keep going. Ultra Renda XDR. It's like going to the movie theater.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a word precision drinking game. It's too early though. How many times is it the word precision?
Precision. I mean, they've said AI more than I expected, to be honest. So there's our game there. Nano textured glass? Is this what I was saying about the screen texture? Maybe. Let's see.
Wait, there was a patent for this that you could feel. Wait a second.
It is
Is it
the
gonna feel
less
like paper?
glare. Potentially. But the reduced glare. Oh, I need to know more about that. Oh, don't leave us hanging. That's what I wanted to find out more about was the nano textured glass.
Are we
Because
getting
it looks like
M4?
it's an
Are we getting
option.
M4? No, get out of the way, M3. This ain't worth you. You're trash.
You're only
You're garbage.
just 6 months old. Get out of the way.
M4. M4.
Leapfrogs the M3. Are we going to get a nice performance chart
that
now?
garbage that you all paid for in October. Getting you good stuff now. Wait a second. Would you be mad if you just bought an M3 MacBook? No.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, I probably would have. I'm not the sort of person that would buy both an iPad and a Mac, so I wouldn't be that grumpy. But if you were somebody who bought both, yeah, I would be mad.
Like I would not want any computer now to have M3 now that I know M4 is an iPad. I would be
That's
like,
true.
no, I'm now waiting for my laptops to be M4 at this point. They just kind of made me feel like I'm not even going to bother. I know M4 is out there. I'm not going to buy a laptop with M3.
So does that mean we're going to get another refresh this year of the MacBooks? And yeah, maybe.
I mean, I'm sure I won't even notice the difference because what am
Yeah.
I? What am I doing?
How are you using all those
idea.
cores?
I have not utilized all my cores. 10 core. What? Yeah, they're really trying to show that with ray tracing and stuff like this is a gaming machine. This is a gaming machine.
It's always with the ray tracing.
Mm-hmm. Which is like a weird phrase that you don't hear anywhere else. So maybe Apple will come up with a better way to like market that.
Maybe.
Oh, using half the power. So the reason you want M4 over the M2 is that we can do everything with half the power. Okay, so now you're getting better battery life.
Mm-hmm. Same performance with a quarter of the power. Here's the neural engine stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the fun stuff of AI. They said AI way more than I expected in this presentation.
It's basically like, hey, you're doing AI work, you're going to want this, but they're going to save the actual software stuff for later in June.
Mm-hmm.
They're just getting us prepped.
Getting ready, flexing our AI muscles, getting us used to the word.
Yeah. It's not a word they often wanted to use before.
Mm-hmm.
Outrageously powerful. It's just outrageous. I love like their marketing
Outrageous.
team has a thesaurus. Like you're just going through it all.
Courageous, outrageous.
Oh, outdoing the AI PCs, I see.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of talk about obviously like the immense capabilities of the hardware, but so what without the applications?
And that's where
Again,
the pencil's coming in,
hinting
though. They're going to make
pencils
you feel
coming
cool with
in.
it.
Mm,
Right. Like, okay, what am I doing on it that I need the M4? Well,
exactly, exactly. Like, yes, it's got all of this amazing, ray tracing capabilities, but what else am I going to do apart from playing games on it? That's what I want to know. All right, we are hearing a bit of iPad OS. Working with
okay, so you're
multiple
like you're
apps. Yeah.
multitasking. Okay. That to me was replacing laptop right there. Having a
That
that whole
imagery,
setup.
definitely. The whole setup, yeah. Yeah, definitely leaning into the accessories part of the presentation. Yeah, Final Cut and Logic Pro on the iPad were big, and now they're in new versions.
Tell us more, Will.
In the climbing gym.
They don't have this on Apple's campus, do they?
Maybe. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, interesting talking about re-engineering them all for touch, because that was not something that they had thought of previously when it was ported over as much anyway.
Faster rendering. Yeah.
Live multicam. Oh, so they've got somebody running an iPhone in this shot and then being able to preview the 4 cameras on the iPad like a director's view. Oh, and then remotely control each of those individual cameras, i.e. iPhones. That's neat. I feel like this is something that we saw on, there was I'm blanking on the name of this camera a while ago, but did something, I kind of had a similar kind of like director's view app, and you could control things.
Now we got to do a CNET show using this. We got to put it to test.
Okay, yeah. Want to do WWDC like this?
when it comes to like editing, I still am stuck in the like I want to be sitting at a desk and doing the hard stuff, but I can see myself going, okay, yeah, let's get some of the easy work done first on the iPad on this touch screen.
Yeah. But then, that brings up a really good point. Like, what is the kind of handoff process when you do need to go back to do, those more intense edits? Are you docking into your Magic Keyboard, or are you sharing that project file? Like, what does that process look like?
Oh, we're gonna be making some music.
Hmm.
I'm a pacing keyboard player. Oh, they're built
I
using
know.
AI.
Yeah, another
Just like
AI
before.
mention.
It's like, hey, we've been doing this for a while, guys, just like before.
But we need to throw in
In
the
case you
word
didn't get
AI
the
so
memo. I feel like so much of this is like passive aggressive, like just like before, we did AI already. You should remember. Chroma glow. What? Oh, it's how it makes it look. That's kind of neat.
Remixing without the stems? That's kind of nice. So it's automatically extracting different parts. Oh, Beecham, what do you think of this? This is cool. You can do all this without having your original stems and splitting things, and then you can create those remixes.
That could be very helpful if you don't have
Yeah.
like an original mix, and you just take a
Yeah.
track and split it up. That's pretty awesome.
I kind of like that. I think especially if you're just getting, for so many different applications.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
I mean,
taking a voice out of a video or something, like
mhm.
this could work out for us.
Mhm.
And yeah, we should try to produce WWDC with that iPad setup they had. Complicate my life even more. Thank you.
4K
Right.
ProRes on the back. Which would you expect? Four studio quality mics.
Mhm. True Tone Flash for document scanning. Interesting that they quote that.
I do that on my iPhone. I'm not really buying an iPad for that, but yeah, okay.
No. Again, uses AI to detect documents, forms, receipts, shadow removal.
I have an app for that. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
The Notes app in iPhone does a pretty good job of that anyway. Again, hey, we had AI features. We had these features. We're just explicitly saying the phrase AI now.
Oh, big news for front-facing camera in the landscape mode.
Oh, Face
Big news,
ID.
everybody.
Big
We're doing the
news.
common sense thing.
Yeah. The thing that everybody wanted 3 years ago.
Oh, a new charging and pairing system. What's new?
Oh, and here is the new Magic Keyboard.
So it's thinner and lighter. That was a thing people said. It was kind of heavy.
New function row. And there's an escape key. There's an escape
Okay, a
key.
function row was another thing that was needed because, yeah, that's actually laptop replacement.
Yeah. So it feels like a MacBook. It looks like a MacBook. Is it a MacBook? The most beloved accessory.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Without the function keys, it's annoying to like change volume really quickly,
Yeah.
like you're used to, and brightness and everything. Okay, pencil. Let's go. So it's got the same features as before, but now
There's cogs inside.
Are we going to see the inside of this thing?
Yeah,
And the
this is
lightning that
like this.
happens while you're inside the pencil. I feel like I'm
Oh,
going
that
into like the
interface.
Xavier X-Men
Yeah,
layer, just trying to get inside the pencil.
exactly. Apple Pencil Pro.
Not Apple Pencil version 3, just Pro.
Pro, yeah.
So that means we're going to still sell the other ones? What's going on here? More expensive? What's going on?
Please let's not have a dongle situation. That's all I'm asking for.
Pro is another word for it's more expensive.
Shh.
Oh, but it's magical, so.
And there's a new sensor for interactions. Squeeze to bring up a tool palette. That looks like the S Pen. So when you rotate it, it's going to be changing the brush. Find my support. Well, at least it charges
And of course, it does all
magnetically.
those other things. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, oh, custom interactions. Interesting. Okay.
Where's that eraser tease?
Is it too much to ask at the end? Just turn it around like a pencil. And that is the eraser.
Surface. Surface pen. To create is what makes us human. To purchase is what makes us American.
Yeah.
Do a barrel roll. That was a Star Fox reference for all of you out there.
I remember that game.
We are getting some fine detail about how, if you're an artist, you want this bad boy.
Yeah.
It's giving you confidence.
We had it for the videographers. We had it for the musicians. Now for the artists. We've taken barrel roll even further.
Oh, wait, he swiped to a whole new thing. What?
Yeah.
What? I don't even know what I'm watching. It looks amazing. I'm sold. I'll never draw in my life. So you can make the new Spider-Man movie on here? Is that what they're telling me?
Mm-hmm.
I like how this office is messy and yet beautiful because it's all color coded.
Yeah.
It's not real. So they didn't like tease up the erasing, but obviously the squeeze to bring up the palette would be
Yeah.
like how to quickly change what you need.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a little haptic feedback, clickety click. Seems like.
Did we get prices on any of these? I don't know if we got that.
Oh,
Maybe we'll get
you
that
have two
now.
pencils to choose from. Both pencils will work. If you just. Is your jaw dropped, Lexi?
I mean, about the glass, it is.
I want to see more of that. Yeah.
I know. To me, that was the
Oh,
most
now it comes with
exciting
double the
thing.
storage. Okay.
Okay.
But they went up, so they went to about $1,000, $999.
Hmm.
Wait, the Pencil Pro is
Pencil
129?
129? Yeah. Is that the same as
Oh,
the
that's the
previous
same.
pencil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get it.
Okay.
Go get the Pro. What are you doing?
Bye, bye, bye. And the regular iPad that stays in the lineup, $349.
Oh, they're like, oh, and by the way, for those of you who,
The plebs.
yeah.
Let's be real, that's the one that I would buy, the $349 one, if I needed a tablet.
So is that the 10th gen iPad? That's $349?
I think so. We'll have to
Did I
double
miss
check.
that?
I don't know if they specified. This is the thing when you're watching this and trying to talk through it, you miss those. Okay, let's look. The store is back up.
We got some people in the comments saying that $500 for the pen and keyboard. I mean, if you consider taxes, this is crazy. Yeah.
It is, and then you add on to that, $1,000 at least iPad Pro, and then your $1,500 minimum. That is definitely encroaching into the. Could I just have bought a laptop?
They definitely calculate exactly what time of day he has to speak for that sun to be just perfect.
Of course. No, they're actually connecting the sun. You know that they can do that, right?
Oh.
Shot on iPhone, edited on Mac and iPad. There we go. Always like to throw
Mac
that in
and
there,
iPad.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
Not just
for you.
Yeah.
Can't replace the Mac when you do the Apple presentation, but you can supplement it.
You can go back and forth between the two seamlessly. That's what they're trying to say.
Well, welcome back everyone who is coming back as that live Apple presentation wraps up. I'm Bridget Carey. I'm here with my co-host Lexy Savvides. We got a lot to dive into with everything that was announced at this Let Loose event. And a lot of the rumors came true. Gosh, we got that M4. Lexy.
I got the M4.
I'm taken aback a little bit. It happened.
I wasn't expecting it, but the other thing that I wasn't expecting either, Bridget, was the constant mentions of AI. This is probably one of the first times that I can remember how many times Apple has specifically said AI tools and referenced some of the things that have been using AI for a while in the Apple lineup. So super interesting, definitely paving the way for WWDC. And as we were saying throughout the live show, kind of saying, hey guys, like we've been doing this for a while. Like Bridget, you made that comment that, Apple has been having to say like, we've done this, we've got this. We just haven't called it AI explicitly, but I guess everybody's calling it AI now. So we better throw our hat in the ring and say AI. So there we go.
AI. Just like we used to do before on this really cool trick. You could still do it just like before with AI, it was a little bit of that in some of the editing tools.
Exactly. So let's recap what we got. We got 2 iPad Pros. We got 2 iPad Airs. We got the new Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil as well. And then we also got a cheaper version of the iPad, which is now $349, the regular iPad. And the iPad mini remains in the lineup, but we didn't hear anything about it apart from Tim Cook at the end saying, hey, guess what? We have the iPad mini. It's great. Cool. And go get them. So no love for the iPad mini in terms of a refresh today, but we did get some significant updates for the iPad Pro. Specifically, the thing that I was most excited about a few things. The relocation of that camera. So it is now on the landscape side. So yay. It's a small usability tweak. I think it's something that people have been wanting for absolutely ages. And now we finally have it. Finally, long time coming. We have obviously lots of different options in terms of the glass that's available, which to me is the most exciting thing. So OLED screens in all of them. And then you also have the option of adding on that extra special glass. It's called the nano textured glass, which is what Apple is calling it. Less glare, specifically think about what Apple has already got in the Pro Display XDR. And that's an option that you can get on top of the existing iPad that you buy. So I'm just actually going to go in and like price it out now on the
I'm
on
refreshing.
the
I didn't
website.
get how much it all costs. I'm like
Here
refreshing
we
the
go.
Apple Store right now.
Let's max it out. So I've got my 13-inch model, my iPad Pro. I'm going to get my Space Black. I'm going to get my 2 terabytes of storage. They buried that lead. That was there. Nano textured glass, which is an option of the display glass. You can choose between standard and nano texture. And then connectivity, I'm going to go Wi-Fi and cellular. I'm not going to add engraving because I'm not that fancy. I'm going to add the Apple Pencil Pro, no engraving either. And then keyboard, let's see. We're going to get my new Magic Keyboard. Okay, are we going to be ready for this sticker shock, Bridget? Are you ready? Okay,
Hit
no
me.
trade-in. What would you put the price on that whole setup? So the maximum 2 terabyte iPad Pro with the extra special glass, Apple Pencil Pro, and the new Magic Keyboard. How much is that worth to you?
Don't tell me $3,000.
It's literally $3,077 US dollars.
Okay. I never get prices right. No.
Yes. Yeah. That's a lot of money. So
you got to be using it like a laptop to do that. It just has to be your replacement, right? It just
absolutely.
Yes, customize it, girl.
Customize it. Yep. CNET's iPad. There we go. Throw in some emojis. Yeah. You max it out, and then we're getting into, very, very expensive territory.
So the nano textured glass, I really need to know if it's worth this extra bit. I mean,
here's the thing.
It's only available in the 1 terabyte or higher.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
That's why it's optional. So
you can't nano unless you go all the way. No, I'm very curious about that. It looked like when they zoom in, it's like these like tiny little dimples all over the glass. So obviously it's going to feel, this reminds me of a patent I saw a long time ago on this textured glass stuff. But to think about, like, if you're actually going to feel like any, if it's just about glare, if it'll feel a little different, obviously with the word texture in it. But it looks like if you go to 1 terabyte level, it's only $100 more. So you're like, I might as well. Yeah. I'm already blowing everything. Might as well.
Yeah, you might as well.
Nano.
But I mean, here's the thing. Like, so in terms of the actual, it sounds like, anti-glare screen. It actually doesn't make that much of a difference. But when it comes to, creative applications, it absolutely does. When it comes to outdoor use, it is a huge difference between having that super reflective regular glass and having something that is got less glare, that has less reflections. It really does make a difference. Again, as you say, it's going to take a little while for us to get our hands on it to see if it actually creates any kind of different feel when using the pencil on it to actually create. But I would actually pay more for an anti-glare, anti-reflective screen. Saying that because I've been using the Galaxy S24 Ultra heavily since launch, since January, and that has that Corning Gorilla Armor coating and cover glass. And so that really drastically reduces screen reflections. You put it side by side with any other flagship phone screen, and it is incredible to watch content outside, to write on the screen. There's no reflections, there's no glare. I mean, there's a tiny bit, but it's not anywhere near as pronounced as what it is on another device. So for me, that actually is the most exciting part of this announcement, and the thing that I would spend more money on as well. So I think for creators, there's a huge thing there. Please.
Did the Apple Pencil second generation not go down in price? Because
Oh,
I'm
you've
on the
got the
site
page
where,
open now.
yeah. So like when you go to buy an Apple iPad Pro, the new one that was announced today, it gives you two options when you want to add on. It's like, do you want the Pencil Pro or do you want the USB-C version that's like 79 or whatever? And it made me go, okay. So then I popped on over to the Apple Pencil section. Like, are they still selling the second generation? They are, at least from what I'm hopping around. If when things change on this on the page, I'm perfectly like I'm expecting sometimes there be maybe a glitch because it's just all switching over right now. But um, the pencil the pencil page has Pro, it has second generation, still at the same price, $129. And then the USB-C at 79. So they are still selling it. I just don't know what the point of it would be unless it wasn't compatible. I guess if the Pro wasn't compatible. Yeah, it looks like the Pencil Pro is only compatible with a few. So that's why.
Yeah,
Interesting.
very interesting. Uh,
It,
all
it
right,
is
let's
not
go.
compatible with any other iPad except the ones announced today.
Oh, no, okay, that's interesting. Uh, but the new charging and pairing on the Apple Pencil, though, what are we thinking of that? Thank goodness that there are no more dongle situations going on with at least with the new Apple Pencil Pro. Thank
Yeah, I'm
goodness.
tired. Yeah, we're all tired of the dongle dance, but yeah, I guess you're just gonna have to like do some wireless charging. I mean, I'm trying to see like, is there a port anywhere on it to do a wired charge if you want, and uh, to be determined because the Apple website is not being very is not showing that right off the bat. I think, but I'll have to kind of go poke around a little more.
Yes, you are actually watching
So
our
there's
live reactions as we discover all this alongside you.
Yeah, so it looks like the new Apple Pencil Pro and the Apple Pencil second generation have wireless pairing and charging, but the other two, the older two, don't. Apple Pencil USB-C and first generation don't.
We have four pencils, ladies and gentlemen, now. Just when you thought it'd be a little cleaned up. There is a page on Apple that lays out like which has which. So yeah, those dreams of wanting it to be a little neater. No, no, we
Well,
got we got more iPads than ever before and more pencils than ever before.
well, I guess I mean the iPad's range makes a little bit more sense to me now. The pencil does not. Pencil range is I feel that's got way more complex. The iPad range I think makes a little bit more sense now. At least there's just one kind of base level, that $349 10th generation, and then we go up to the Airs and then the iPad Pros. Again, like we were saying throughout the presentation, Bridget, the Air almost needs like a new name now because they're no longer the thin ones. As we saw, like the iPad Pros are now the thinnest iPads out there. They're incredibly thin. And, the moniker Air means light, thin to me. Gonna have to rename that iPad uh, basic. What did you call it? What did we call it? Regular? I
iPad
don't know. What are we
with
gonna call
with
it?
spunk. It's spunky. It's got color. It has personality. I'm thinking
iPad
more about the
color.
pencil. I'm going to go back and say, okay, the reason I think we still have four pencils is because people keep their iPads around for so long, like we were just saying in the pre-show. So you obviously got to have options around for people who are very much more a casual user. They have an older model. They don't need all the whoop-de-doo of the new one. But yeah, it does still get confusing because if you're buying an iPad and you're going, okay, I think the iPad Air is going to do me just fine. We're talking about utilizing all of our cores. If we're not an artist, needing all of that, it still has a very powerful machine. But now it's got color, it's got fun. Not as many colors as the last version, it seems, but still, it's definitely allowing for people who just want something more casual. Still, I like having a $350 or so option because that's going to make a lot of sense for most people. I didn't hear them talk much about like if that power button has Touch ID and stuff, as some things we have to kind of dig into a little more as the reviews come out over time. But Yeah, this was more about like, we're a powerful tool. We're a powerful tool for AI. AI, the thing that everyone's talking about. Our chips are great for AI. Let's stay tuned for next month where we have more to share, you know.
Yeah, I was surprised there wasn't a little bit more of a hint to be like, there's another event that you should tune into that is going to increase the capabilities of this hardware. So there you go.
He
I mean,
kind
I
of
guess
did at the end, just a little, but
kind of,
yeah, I
I
know what
guess
you
a
mean.
little. I don't know. They're probably, people who are into it are going to know that WWDC is around the corner. So
Man, sorry, M3. They just chucked you out into the useless trash pile. Man, I was at that event for October, seeing them, and it's
oh,
like,
there's
it's the most powerful thing ever. And then 6 months later, I mean, as a consumer, you started to get kind of that hesitation. That's the problem, right? Of wanting to upgrade fast. You're like, well, I mean, it was bad enough when something was outdated in a year. Now it's outdated in 6 months.
no, so true. I mean, the poor Space Black, the poor Space Black MacBook. But I mean, the M4 chip, obviously they did talk a lot about, the capabilities that it's going to unlock, and the applications that they did show off were really interesting on the iPad Pro, from Final Cut to Logic Pro 2, and obviously that multicam tool. That was, I think, one of the more interesting parts for me, being able to kind of use the iPad in a director mode and then pipe in those extra like iPhones and other cameras and be able to kind of switch through views. You can also control things like the exposure and, the focal length, and zoom in and out on their other cameras that you can control in
That
this
was
director
cool.
view. That was very cool. The live multicam setup, I mean, I'm sold on that. Do I have really any use for it as a practical, day-to-day consumer? No. But as somebody who works in videography, and I would love to use that and see how intuitive it is.
What Apple's
Again,
doing right there, yeah, I was going to just say what Apple's doing right there is explaining to you why you want all of Apple's products in the ecosystem to be, as powerful as you can be. Because it used to be like, well, we have things, we have this and we have that and we have that, but it was a really a showcase of, if you have, our iPhones to film on and our
mhm.
iPad to do your editing on, you will, you know, level up compared to whatever else is out there. We don't have to jump around as much. So that was a very interesting highlight for me, kind of showing that, even if not everyone's going to be using that, because once again, it's called the Pro, because it's for people who are, producing content, and more of us are doing that nowadays with how easy it is on social media to produce content. So they are getting a lot of people, I think, paying attention to this kind of stuff now more than they would before.
No, definitely. And, looking in the chat, there's a lot of comments about people who are talking about wanting an iPad Mini Pro, specifically wanting refreshes of the iPad Mini. I think there's a lot of love there for that device that we didn't really kind of get anything today. And then, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people saying iPad Mini, please give me iPad Mini in the chat. And then also somebody commented, yep, the iPad is still not replacing a laptop. It's still not replacing the MacBook. None of this kind of gave them the thought that might happen. I agree. I don't think we got really that much else today that was kind of giving us those hints. The Magic Keyboard, yes, like I think that was a nice addition, but it was long overdue. I mean, it just makes sense. It feels more like a Surface now, I guess, with that kind of keyboard integration. A little bit more sturdy. Yes, there's an escape key. Yes, there's haptic feedback on the touch panel. Is it enough to replace that in terms of the software side of things? Not yet. Maybe WWDC will have some more hints there. I don't know. What did you think, Bridget, about the laptop, MacBook, iPhone, iOS integration, converging or not after this presentation?
I think it does.
You
If
think it
as long as
does?
you don't have as long as you don't have, well, not I'm not talking about software. I'm talking about like really showing that, like I went in going, is Apple going to really show me why the iPad can replace your laptop? If you're a creator, yes, but it's so expensive, and it makes you wonder about, are you making the right decision when you could get a laptop? And for the first time, making the iPad more powerful than a MacBook, you really have to take a breath and go, oh, they're serious about answering this question by making it light. I feel like after this day, the big thing that everyone's going to be doing in the reviews is putting them side by side, weighing them side by side. If you're a student, how much is it on your backpack to like slide this in? If you're spending, the same amount of money, I don't think students want to throw out $3,000 for top of the line. I mean, that's 2 terabytes and everything, right? But in general, if you are going to be throwing out a couple thousand, what are you getting with this versus a laptop in terms of durability, usefulness? And that is really going to be the whole focus over the next few months. And I want to thank everyone for sticking around and watching with us live. We're having fun with you in real time, kind of reacting to just like you are as we're seeing this all. But do subscribe to our channel, and you're going to be seeing videos come out over the next couple of days as we start getting time to really see what this feels like in our hands, because that's the big question, right? With this pencil, okay, so now it has haptic feedback. How much more useful is that? How does that magic keyboard feel? And obviously having a function row of keys on the top, more useful. But what is that trackpad like? So this is one of those product lineups that people are going to be going to the Apple stores to want to really touch and see what that nano screen is like. So definitely stay tuned. I know you and me, Lexy, we're going to be going, as soon as there's some in the office, we're going to be trying to draw on it and see how it feels differently.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be doing all my side by sides, comparing it. See, is it worth the extra? Oh, I don't know. Yes and no. It's expensive. I don't want to have to fork out money for this as much as. So I'm kind of hoping it's not as good as I want it to be. Anyway, we'll see. But as Bridget said, make sure to stay subscribed. We've got lots more hands-on content coming soon. And of course, you got to tune into Bridget's Apple Show One More Thing every Friday, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What is a computer? We'll answer that question, right? Remember that old Apple commercial everyone poked at? We're going to be still talking about that. So thanks, everyone, for staying on with us in the live. Thank you to our producer, Stephen Beecham, and the whole crew keeping this show going. And for all of you out there who, interacted in our polls and commented, we appreciate it. And we will see you next time for WWDC in a month and all the other events happening soon. So thank you again. Thanks, Lexy.
Thanks, Bridget. Bye.